What to treat like it's water off the back of a duck to supersize and grow your business. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. I have quite the duck collection. My granddaughter, my second granddaughter, absolutely loved ducks when she was, up to a year old, and a little bit after. She still loves her rubber duckies, although her daddy ran over with a snowblower an entire bucket of ducks and blew them all over the yard, so we had to throw them away. But I still had a backup bucket from her first birthday. We had a duck birthday party for her on her first birthday, so we have lots of ducks. Now, we're talking about hydration and water and its impact on our physical well-being, our physical health, and our physical goal achievement as part of this year's Get Your Goals annual challenge. I like to tie that into the Supersize Your Business group so that we have a little bit of common thread running through the content that I create every day. Well, today I looked up a whole bunch. I looked up like 21 different water related or hydrating related idioms, and I chose to talk about it's like water off a duck's back. And I like this for several reasons. Number one, I like to personally grow and develop and remind myself that a lot of stuff that happens has nothing to do with me. And so why would I spend any time and energy thinking about, worrying about, fretting about, wondering how it's going to impact my business when it's none of my business and it really doesn't have anything to do with me? I think of things like politics and religion and other people's beliefs have nothing to do with me, so why would I incorporate them into my business or my businesses at any given time? I would not. So if this is an idiom and an expression, it originated in the 1800s, and there's some controversy over when it actually came about, because like all idioms, before it appears in print, it's usually been around for at least a generation. So they figure this one came around in about the 1840s or 1850s, because it first appeared in print in 1874 in Greg Rivers' Argus. I don't know, it must be a newspaper. Oh, Gray Rivers Argus is a newspaper it was used in. So I figured it had to be around at least a generation before then. But it dates back to the 1800s, the early 1800s. And it just reminds us, and it comes literally from watching ducks in nature and water. They'll go in and they'll get a fish or do something, and then they come up and the water just rolls right off their back. Why? Because their feathers are waterproof. And so that's where this idiom and expression comes from. So what kind of things do we want to make sure that we are waterproof or weatherproof, or we let just roll off our backs as we're supersizing and growing our business? I can think of a lot of things. Number one that came to mind to me was criticism, especially from people that have never done the thing that we're doing. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but often criticism comes from people that are just telling us how we should do something that they've never done before. Remember when I first started, I wrote my first book, and I got lots of critiques and lots of criticism, but the majority of it, when I first asked for feedback, was from people that had never written a book before. And so I thought about it, took the constructive stuff and applied it to the book, but then I looked for people that had published books and published authors and had them critique and review and help me to make my book a better book. So criticism from people that have never done something that you're doing, take it with a grain of salt. Input and information or the ads and the commercials of our competition, right? Our competition is all about slamming us and finding anything they can to make us look bad to the customers or their potential customers so that they can win the customers, right? So we take that with a grain of salt. However, sometimes by doing some competitive analysis, we can find things that are missing from our products and services that are really easy to add value to the people that we're here to serve. So like anything else, take it with a grain of salt, but remember, sometimes salt makes the recipe taste better and you want to add it. Negative comments on social media. I think we all get haters. If you're on social media at all, people will hate and again criticize you for things that you're doing that they haven't ever even done. I know how hard it is to start doing video. It's really hard for everybody. I don't know anybody that says I was born to do video. Now I'm sure there are people that were born to act in things, but as far as live video on social media, I don't know very many people that were born to do it. We do it, we stink in the beginning, and there is no shortage of people that will tell us that we stink. I remember one of my favorite scathing reviews was from someone that said I was like the Wicked Witch of the West, and how dare I show up on video. It was so funny because this person had never done a single video, or actually had never really done anything if you checked out their profile in their life. So why would I take that person's feedback to heart? I would not, and I did not. But it gives me a good story to talk about these days. So negative comments on social media, you know, especially personal attacks and derogatory comments, just in one ear, out the other. It's kind of like the review sites too, like Yelp and things. Sometimes there are people in the world that just like to be negative and mean to other people, especially if people are doing something that they haven't. People get jealous and they make comments that are totally inappropriate. And then feedback with ulterior motives. A lot of times, again, if it's our competition, if it's somebody that just has a sister or a brother that's in a similar business and they want to just trash us, people do weird things for their own reasons that we will never understand. And so we want to remember that when we're getting feedback, take the nuggets out of there that are valuable, that can improve and help us grow and build and supersize our business. But the other stuff, just let it flow off your back, just like water on the back of a duck. Love to know if you have any stories about this. Do you listen to the constructive input that you get from others? I do. I'm always out there looking for feedback, input, asking for feedback and help, because people will tell us everything we need to know in order to serve them best if we just listen to them. So that's it. I'd love to know your take on this particular idiom or expression. Have you ever used it? I don't know if I've ever said like water on the back of a duck. I think I have not, but it is still a fun idiom. It's easy to visualize, and I think those are ones that help us think about aspects of our business that we might not be thinking about. Have an awesome Mother's Day if you're a mother. Otherwise, just have an awesome day, and I'll of course be with you tomorrow with another interesting idiom. What does it mean? Where does it come from? And how might you use it in your business right now? Have a great day.